I used to think losing everything would look dramatic, like some big public collapse everyone could see coming. It wasn't like that. It was quieter, slower, almost invisible at first. One day, I was running businesses, taking calls, making plans, feeling important. The next, I was staring at my phone, wondering why it had stopped ringing. Deals fell through, payments delayed. Then suppliers started hesitating. Clients disappeared. The steady flow of income that once made me confident slowly dried up. At first, I told myself it was just a rough season. Every entrepreneur has them. I had bounced back before, I would bounce back again. But this time was different. When the money slowed down, something else slowed down too. The people around me. Invitations stopped. Messages became shorter. Friends who once celebrated every win with me were suddenly busy. I don't even remember a big argument or fallout. They just faded away. And then my marriage broke down. I won't pretend I was blameless. I was stressed, distracted, emotionally unavailable. I thought providing financially was enough. I thought success covered everything else. It didn't. When my wife left, the house felt unfamiliar, like I was walking through someone else's life. That kind of silence changes you. At night, the quiet was loud. No conversations, no laughter, just my thoughts, and they weren't kind. That's when I started drinking more. It didn't begin recklessly. It began as a way to take the edge off, a way to sleep, a way to not think so much. But slowly it became a habit, then a dependency. Drugs followed, not out of rebellion, but out of exhaustion. I didn't want to feel like a failure anymore. Somewhere in that spiral, I stopped going to church, stopped praying, stopped talking to God. Not because I didn't believe He existed, but because I felt embarrassed. What was I going to say? God, I only remembered you when things were going well? I felt like I had drifted too far to come back. One night stands out in my memory more than the others. I was sitting alone in a dark room, half drunk, phone silent, bank account nearly empty. I remember saying out loud, "How did my life get here?" There was no dramatic thunder, no voice from heaven, just stillness. But for the first time, I wasn't blaming anyone else. Not the economy, not my former business partners, not my wife, not my friends. Just me. The next morning, I woke up heavy but clear, and a simple thought crossed my mind. Go back. That was it. Nothing complicated, just go back. I didn't feel ready, I didn't feel worthy, I felt ashamed. But that Sunday, I walked into church and sat at the back. I didn't greet anyone, I didn't raise my hands, I didn't try to look spiritual. I just sat there. And something shifted, not outside of me, but inside me. I realized I hadn't actually lost God, I had just stopped walking with Him. Nothing changed overnight. My debts were still there, my marriage was still over, my friendships were still broken. I was still rebuilding from scratch. But I started making small decisions. I stopped using drugs completely. I cut down the drinking and eventually quit. I began praying again, even when it felt awkward. Not big religious prayers, just simple ones. God, help me get through today. Slowly, something returned. Not money, not status, not applause. Peace, clarity, a quiet strength I hadn't known before. Losing my businesses stripped away my pride. Losing my marriage exposed my weaknesses. Losing my friends showed me where I had placed my identity. For years, I thought success defined me. When success disappeared, I felt like I disappeared with it. But rock bottom did something unexpected. It forced me to rebuild from a different foundation. Today, I don't share this story as a perfect man or as someone who has figured everything out. I share it as someone who has been broken and is still healing. If this story feels familiar, if you're in a season where everything seems to be falling apart, I want you to know you're not alone. This channel, Global Christian Journey, is where I'll be sharing more of this walk, the struggles, the lessons, the faith, and the rebuilding. If you want to grow in your faith, if you're rebuilding your life, or if you just need real conversations about God and real life, subscribe and join me on this journey. Let's grow together, because sometimes losing everything is where true faith begins.